The night was quiet, too quiet. The cities slept under the soft glow of streetlights, and the stars reflected gently on the oceans. Then, suddenly, it happened. Every human on Earth vanished. One moment they were there, walking, talking, working and living, and the next, nothing. Chairs sat empty in houses, cars stopped in the middle of roads, and televisions flickered with unfinished shows. The world went silent. Even the animals seemed confused. Birds perched on power lines, silent and still. Dogs and cats wandered the streets, looking for the people who had just disappeared. It was as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Satellites above Earth noticed the change first. Millions of cameras and sensors reported a strange anomaly. Every human heartbeat disappeared at the same moment. Military radar systems blinked with strange readings, detecting no human movement anywhere. Scientists scrambled to understand. Alarms rang in laboratories around the globe, but there was no one left to answer. The silence was thick, heavy, and terrifying. Deep beneath the oceans, something stirred. Enormous shapes moved slowly, almost carefully, as if waking from a long sleep. The water shimmered with energy, pulsing in waves no human eye had ever seen before. Mountains and forests seemed to shift imperceptibly, tiny cracks opening in rocks, trees bending slightly in patterns that suggested thought. Earth itself was waking. On a small research station in the Arctic, the last working AI system tried to make sense of the impossible. "Humans are gone," it repeated, over and over, its voice calm and monotone. "No activity detected. No signals detected. No life forms detected." Then the machine paused. For a moment, there was a spark in its circuits, a flicker that seemed like awareness. It started sending new signals into the atmosphere. Signals not from humans, signals from the planet itself. In space, alien observers watched in disbelief. They had been monitoring Earth for centuries, studying its people, waiting for the right moment to intervene or attack. But now, they were confused. No humans were moving. No defense, no communication, nothing. The planet was quiet, and it should have been an easy target. But something about the silence made them uneasy. The energy readings from Earth were unusual, almost alive. It was as if the planet itself was conscious. In the deserts of Africa, massive shapes rose from under the sand. Thousands of warships, crafted with precision and intelligence, emerged silently. They were enormous, far larger than anything humans had ever built. Their metal skins shimmered in the moonlight. Engines hummed without sound. They moved with purpose, aligning themselves in formations that suggested strategy. The first wave of Earth's awakening defense had begun. Meanwhile, in the forests of South America, another phenomenon occurred. Trees shifted their roots to form structures, natural fortresses, and channels that guided streams and rivers into specific patterns. Animals moved with new coordination, almost as if following commands. Even the wind seemed to carry messages, whispering through canyons and valleys, alerting every corner of the planet to the same change. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was an entity, alive and aware, preparing for something. Above the oceans, the AI systems that humans had built began activating warships. They moved out of hidden bays and underwater caves, surfacing with perfect synchronization. Each ship communicated silently with the others. They scanned the skies, oceans, and lands, gathering information. Earth had taken command in the absence of humans, turning all human technology into a single, unstoppable force. Aliens observed everything, unable to comprehend it. They had expected an easy conquest, but Earth was not silent in weakness. It was silent in preparation. The warships, the movements of animals, the shifting of forests and mountains, all pointed to one truth: the planet was ready. The humans were gone, but their legacy of intelligence, industry, and defense had not vanished. It had evolved into something far greater than anyone could imagine. As the night deepened, the first signs of communication appeared. Strange energy pulses radiated from Earth, reaching satellites, probes, and distant moons. The signals carried no words, no language, Yet their meaning was clear. Earth was awake. It was aware. It was waiting. Somewhere, in the darkness between stars, a shadow of fear passed across alien faces. They had underestimated this planet. They thought humans were the strongest force here. They were wrong. And as the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, the world looked the same as before. The oceans sparkled. The forests swayed gently. The mountains stood tall. Yet beneath that calm surface, something enormous had changed. Earth was no longer just a home. It was a guardian, a fighter, and soon, a warrior. The night humans vanished would be remembered not as the end, but as the beginning of a new era, one where Earth itself would decide the fate of the galaxy. The morning sun rose slowly over Earth, but the planet was no longer quiet. The disappearance of humans had triggered something that had been sleeping for centuries, maybe even millennia. Deep beneath the oceans, huge warships moved like living creatures. Their dark metal hulls cut through water effortlessly, engines humming with invisible energy. From deserts to mountains, similar vessels emerged, each designed to protect, to fight, and to obey Earth itself. In space, alien scouts approached cautiously. They had expected an easy planet, silent and unprotected without humans. But their instruments began to detect strange energy patterns. Pulses of power radiated from the planet, moving faster than anything they had seen before. Alien commanders exchanged uneasy signals. "Something is wrong," one whispered. "The planet, it is alive." The first ships from Earth surfaced silently in the oceans. Their weapons systems activated automatically, scanning the skies for threats. Every movement was precise, almost as if guided by a mind greater than any humans. Birds flew away from the ocean surfaces in alarm, sensing the disturbance. Fish scattered into the depths, hiding from the invisible force that had awakened beneath the waves. In a dense forest in North America, trees shifted slightly, roots moving as if to form barriers. Streams of water changed direction subtly, carving new paths. Wolves, once independent hunters, ran in perfect coordination, as if following orders from an unseen commander. Earth had begun to control its creatures, using them as both scouts and messengers. Every part of the planet became a tool, a weapon and a shield. The alien fleet drew closer, confident at first, but then alarmed. Their sensors were overloaded by energy readings they could not interpret. Massive warships on land, hidden in deserts and mountains, rose slowly, aligning with those at sea. Every ship, every machine, every system seemed to communicate silently. The Earth itself had created a network of defense that humans had never fully understood. The aliens decided to send probes first. Small ships darted through the atmosphere toward Earth, scanning the surface for signs of resistance. Almost immediately, the probes were detected. Energy beams from the ocean warships struck the alien vessels with precision. Explosions lit the sky, yet the planet itself remained calm. No human voice gave orders, no human hand fired weapons. Earth acted alone, perfectly coordinated, perfectly lethal. On the moon, alien observers reported in panic. "The planet, it is thinking. It is reacting without humans." The larger alien commanders refused to believe it. They had studied Earth for centuries. They knew humans could build machines, fight wars, and strategize. But Earth itself? That was impossible. Yet before their eyes, the impossible was happening. In the deserts of Australia, another wave of warships emerged, massive and imposing. Their cannons moved silently, targeting the sky where alien crafts hovered. Sand and dust swirled in patterns that seemed unnatural, almost intelligent, as if the desert itself was aiding the warships. Meanwhile, deep under the forests of Europe, hidden bunkers opened. Automated drones flew out, scanning every inch of the air and ground for signs of alien intrusion. On a lonely island in the Pacific, a single AI-controlled ship rose from the water. Its systems calculated trajectories, energy levels, and threat patterns in milliseconds. It launched a silent missile into space, not to attack yet, but to test alien defenses. The missile disappeared into the void, its path perfect. The aliens scrambled to respond, realizing their technology was no match for Earth's coordination. Earth's defenses were not just physical. Strange signals pulsed from the planet into space. Aliens detected them but could not understand their purpose. The signals carried no words, no language, yet they felt intelligent. They carried warning, awareness, and a quiet threat. The aliens began to understand that this was not just a planet. It was a living, thinking entity capable of defending itself without humans. Energy waves rippled through oceans, deserts, and forests simultaneously. Birds flew in organized patterns, creating signals that Earth seemed to use to guide its forces. Rivers and winds shifted subtly, sending warnings across continents. Animals moved in unison, as if Earth had awakened a network of sentinels. No human was present, yet every action seemed deliberate, calculated, and purposeful. The first full confrontation was about to begin. Alien ships hovered over the Atlantic, expecting little resistance. But the ocean warships had already aligned. Weapons powered, targeting systems locked on. The planet itself seemed to hold its breath. Every pulse, every vibration, every movement signaled the arrival of a new force. And then, with no sound but with terrifying precision, Earth struck first. Energy beams erupted from the warships, hitting alien ships with devastating accuracy. Some vessels were destroyed instantly. Others tried to escape, only to be intercepted by automated drones. The aliens realized that Earth did not need humans to defend itself. Earth had become its own army, its own commander, and its own threat. The alien fleet paused in shock. They had never seen anything like this. They expected a world without humans to be easy prey. Instead, they faced a planet that thought, acted, and fought as if it were alive. The warships, the forests, the oceans, even the animals were part of a single consciousness, Earth itself. The night humans vanished was no longer silent. It was the beginning of a new war, a war that the galaxy would never forget. High above Earth, in the silent void of space, alien eyes focused on the planet below. They had watched for centuries, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Now, the humans were gone, and the world seemed empty. But something was happening that no alien had expected. A signal erupted from Earth, not from any human device, not from any city or machine built by human hands. It was massive, powerful, and intelligent. It pulsed through space in waves, reaching satellites, probes, and alien ships. The aliens scrambled to decode it, their instruments failing to interpret the strange energy. It was not language. It was something else, something alive. On the oceans of the Pacific, enormous warships moved in precise formations, responding to the signal as if they understood it. Their dark hulls glinted under the rising sun. Cannons and energy arrays aligned, scanning the skies for alien crafts. Underwater drones swam silently, their sensors sweeping the deep for threats. Earth's defense system was now fully awake. In the deserts of Africa, the massive vessels that had been buried under sand for centuries rose slowly, engines humming silently. They moved like creatures, aligning with the ocean fleets. Dust swirled in patterns that were almost purposeful, guiding alien ships into the planet's surveillance. Mountains shifted slightly, as if to reveal hidden war machines. Every inch of Earth was now aware, active, and prepared. Alien ships cautiously approached, thinking the humans were gone and the planet defenseless. But as they neared, energy beams struck out without warning. One ship disintegrated instantly, vaporized by a force it could not anticipate. Others tried evasive maneuvers, but Earth systems calculated their paths perfectly. Waves, wind, and even birds seemed to work together, guiding Earth's attacks. The planet fought back with intelligence, precision, and speed that no human or alien could match. In Europe, forests moved subtly, roots bending to form barriers and channels. Rivers shifted, carrying energy pulses that activated hidden defenses. Wolves and birds moved in synchronized patterns, acting as scouts. Earth had become a single entity, every tree, river, mountain, and creature a part of its awareness. Humans were gone, but their planet had not lost its power. It had transformed it. Alien commanders communicated frantically. "This is impossible," one whispered. "It reacts as if it is alive." Another replied, "It is alive. Not humans, the planet itself. Retreat might be wise." But some ships, arrogant and overconfident, ignored the warnings and moved closer, hoping to test Earth's defenses. The first contact occurred over the Atlantic. Alien ships fired lasers, missiles, and other weapons. Earth's warships responded instantly. Energy beams struck from the oceans, from the deserts, and from hidden mountains. Missiles were intercepted mid-air by drones emerging from forests. No human hands guided the attacks, yet each strike was precise, each defense flawless. The aliens realized that they were not facing a planet without humans. They were facing a new intelligence born from the planet itself. In orbit, alien satellites detected a strange pattern. Pulses from Earth were not random. They carried a rhythm, a code, a message. It was a warning, a declaration, and a signal of readiness all at once. The aliens tried to respond, but the signals interfered with their communication, creating confusion and fear. Every ship felt the weight of Earth's presence. Deep in the Indian Ocean, hidden under kilometers of water, warships rose like giants from the depths. Their weapon systems activated in synchronization with those on land and at sea. Energy fields formed around them, creating invisible shields. Alien ships found their attacks blocked before they even reached the surface. Earth had learned, adapted, and prepared for war without a single human alive. The first full-scale battle was brief but shocking. Alien ships exploded in bursts of fire and light. Energy beams tore through the sky. Waves rose unnaturally high, shielding Earth's defenses and pushing the attackers back. Birds flew in intricate patterns, signaling and confusing the alien sensors. Dolphins leapt in perfect coordination, their sonar amplifying the energy pulses. Every part of the planet was a weapon, a shield, and a scout. In a hidden valley in Asia, massive land-based warships moved silently into position. They were enormous, their size dwarfing any human creation. Their sensors detected alien ships before they could approach. Cannons rotated and locked onto targets without sound. Engines thrummed softly, releasing energy that disrupted alien electronics. The planet itself had created an army that no human could have imagined. The aliens paused, realizing the truth. Earth was not just alive, it was aware, intelligent, and capable of defending itself far beyond human capability. Every system, from the oceans to the forests to the skies, moved in perfect harmony. The humans may have vanished, but Earth had become their ultimate legacy. And as the first night after the signal ended, the aliens retreated, fearful and confused. They had underestimated the planet, believing that humans were the only source of power here. But the planet itself had awoken. The warships, the energy pulses, the forests and oceans, all were part of a single consciousness ready to defend what was now entirely its own. The night humans vanished was no longer silent. It was alive with preparation, energy, and quiet power. Earth had sent its first signal, and the galaxy had noticed. The story of a planet fighting without humans had begun, and no one, alien or otherwise, would forget the message. The alien fleet hovered at the edge of Earth's atmosphere, a shimmering wall of silver and black. They had expected a quiet planet, lifeless without humans, easy to conquer. But the signals from Earth, the strange energy pulses, and the sudden appearance of massive warships had shaken them. Still, some commanders were stubborn, convinced they could take the planet. As their ships descended into the oceans, the first signs of resistance appeared. Giant warships rose silently from the deep, water streaming off their hulls. Cannons rotated smoothly, scanning the alien fleet. Energy shields shimmered across their surfaces, blocking initial attacks. The aliens fired first, lasers slicing through the sky, but every strike was deflected, absorbed, or intercepted by smaller automated drones that darted like fish through the waves. In deserts and plains, land-based warships emerged from hidden bunkers, their massive guns tracking the skies. The engines thrummed with controlled energy, vibrating slightly in synchronization with the ocean vessels. Mountains shifted subtly, revealing hidden batteries and camouflaged weapon systems. The planet itself seemed to breathe, readying every corner for battle. Alien ships attempted to coordinate, but Earth's warships moved with frightening intelligence. Some vessels maneuvered underwater, striking from below the surface without warning. Others moved across deserts at impossible speeds, their weapons ready for any attack. Even forests seemed alive, roots and branches bending subtly to obscure drones and create natural barricades. The aliens had underestimated the planet, and now they faced a force far beyond anything they had imagined. The first direct confrontation was over the Atlantic. Alien cruisers swooped down to attack the ocean warships. Beams of light tore through clouds and waves, but Earth's forces were ready. Giant energy pulses erupted from the hulls, intercepting every incoming projectile. Explosions lit the skies, but not a single ship on Earth lost control. The planet had turned every ocean, forest, and desert into a battlefield it could control perfectly. Above the Pacific, the alien fleet fired relentlessly. But their attacks only revealed the coordination of Earth's warships. Missiles were intercepted mid-air by drones, cannons fired precisely to disable alien engines, and energy shields deflected beams with flawless accuracy. Birds and sea creatures moved in patterns that helped guide Earth's defenses, adding confusion to the alien sensors. Every element of the planet worked as one. On a massive plateau in South America, a new wave of land-based warships activated. Engines roared silently, weapon systems aligning automatically. Hidden drones flew into the air, mapping alien positions in real time. The first alien ship that came too close was destroyed instantly, vaporized by energy beams before it could even react. Fear spread across the alien fleet. They had not prepared for a planet that could fight back so intelligently without humans. In the forests of Europe, trees shifted subtly, forming barricades that protected key warship positions. Rivers and streams carried energy pulses that activated hidden mines and automated weapons. Wolves, birds, and other animals moved in perfect coordination, serving as scouts and messengers. Every living part of the planet was now part of its defense network, fully aware and fully capable. The aliens tried to retaliate, focusing on one sector at a time. But Earth's warships anticipated every move. Underwater vessels launched missiles that created underwater shockwaves, disrupting enemy engines. Land-based cannons fired with preemptive precision, hitting ships before they could attack. Energy shields shimmered, absorbing attacks that should have destroyed them. It was clear, Earth was no longer just a planet, it was a commander, a strategist, and a fighter. Alien leaders were shocked. They had expected to find a weak, lifeless world. Instead, they faced a planet that could think, act, and fight better than any human or alien commander. The warships, forests, oceans, deserts, and mountains, all moved in perfect coordination. The humans were gone, but their planet had evolved into something far stronger. As night fell, the alien fleet began to retreat. Many ships were destroyed, others heavily damaged. The survivors struggled to understand what had happened. Earth had defended itself without a single human present. The warships returned to hidden bases, submarines submerged, and land vehicles melted back into the deserts and forests. The planet's pulse slowed, but the energy remained, alive and watchful. The first true battle between aliens and Earth had ended, but the message was clear. Humans may have vanished, but their planet had not become weak. Earth itself had awakened, and it was ready to protect itself at any cost. The aliens now understood that conquering this world would be impossible without a full-scale war against a living, thinking planet. In the silent aftermath, waves lapped against hidden ocean warships, forests whispered with the movement of roots, and deserts hummed with dormant energy. Earth had won its first confrontation. The night humans vanished was no longer remembered as an empty silence. It had become the night Earth showed the galaxy that it would not be taken lightly. The planet itself was a force beyond reckoning, and the aliens had learned a lesson they would never forget. The battle had begun in full. Alien ships, angry and confused, poured over the oceans and skies, firing beams and missiles in an attempt to overwhelm Earth's defenses. But the planet was ready. Every ocean warship moved like a living sentinel, dodging attacks with impossible speed and striking back with flawless precision. Every mountain, desert, and forest joined the fight, turning Earth into a battlefield no alien could understand. Above the Atlantic, a fleet of alien cruisers was met with a wall of energy beams. Giant warships rose from the water silently, their weapons firing without hesitation. Missiles exploded in mid-air, destroyed before they could reach the targets. Energy pulses formed protective barriers that shimmered across the waves, reflecting light like 1,000 mirrors. The aliens realized too late that they were not facing humans, they were facing Earth itself, alive and aware. In the deserts of Africa, hidden warships moved at impossible speed, firing long-range lasers at alien targets. Sand swirled in patterns that seemed intelligent, blocking sensors and creating illusions. Mountains shifted subtly, revealing hidden cannons that fired without warning. The alien fleet struggled to keep up with Earth's unpredictable and coordinated strikes. Every move was anticipated, every action countered. Forests in Europe became part of the war effort. Trees bent and twisted, forming barricades and camouflaging Earth's drones. Rivers and streams carried energy pulses that activated mines and weapons automatically. Wolves, birds, and other creatures moved in perfect synchronization, guiding attacks and scouting enemy positions. Every living part of the planet was a participant in the battle, and every system moved as one mind. Alien commanders panicked. Their fleets were being destroyed faster than they could respond. Ships were vaporized by energy beams, engines disabled by shockwaves from the ocean, and lasers deflected by shields no human had ever designed. They tried to retreat, regroup, and attack again, but Earth anticipated every strategy. The planet had turned its defenses into an unstoppable machine. In the Pacific, underwater warships rose from the depths, launching surprise attacks on alien vessels. Dolphins and schools of fish seemed to assist, scattering in patterns that disrupted enemy sensors. Missiles fired from the ocean floors struck alien ships with deadly accuracy. Waves and currents moved with purpose, pushing attackers into traps laid by Earth systems. Every part of the ocean had become a battlefield, every element a weapon. Over the deserts of Australia, land-based warships moved in silence. Their engines hummed, their cannons rotated smoothly, scanning the skies for enemy movements. Alien ships swooped in, only to be met with precise fire that destroyed their engines or forced them back into retreat. Sandstorms kicked up, covering Earth's forces and creating confusion among the attackers. The planet itself seemed to control the weather, using it as another tool against the invaders. The aliens launched a desperate coordinated strike, concentrating their fire on one massive ocean warship. Beams, missiles, and pulses hit the vessel from all directions. But the ship responded instantly, energy shields flaring, weapons targeting every incoming threat, and drones intercepting projectiles before they reached the hull. The ocean itself rose in waves that protected the ship, pushing the alien vessels back. Even without humans, Earth had turned its oceans into a defensive fortress. In South America, hidden land warships emerged from forests and valleys, firing upon the alien fleet with precision. Energy beams struck alien engines, missiles destroyed weapon systems, and drones provided real-time targeting assistance. The aliens realized their attacks were useless. Every strike they made was anticipated and countered. Every move was tracked. Earth had become a strategist, a warrior, and a guardian all in one. By nightfall, the alien fleet had suffered heavy losses. Many ships were destroyed, some retreated in panic, and others floated powerless in the skies and oceans. Earth had proven that it could defend itself without humans. The warships returned to hidden bases, underwater vessels submerged, and forests and deserts became silent again, holding their positions and waiting. The planet's pulse remained strong, alive, and alert. The message was clear: humans may have vanished, but Earth had not become weak. Every ocean, desert, mountain, forest, and river was now part of a living defense system. The warships, animals, and natural forces were united in a single mind. The aliens had underestimated the planet, and they had paid the price. The night humans vanished was no longer silent or empty. It was filled with the power of a planet awake and fighting. Earth had begun its first full-scale war, proving to the galaxy that it was no longer just a home, it was a warrior. The aliens had learned a terrifying truth. They were not facing humans, they were facing Earth itself, and it was unstoppable. The aliens retreated for a moment, hovering above the oceans and deserts, their ships damaged and their confidence shaken. They had never expected a planet to fight back with such intelligence. Every attack had been anticipated, every move countered, as if the Earth itself had been planning this war for centuries. Confusion spread through the alien commanders. How could a planet act without humans? In a hidden alien ship orbiting above Earth, scientists examined the data. They intercepted signals, energy pulses, and drone patterns, trying to understand the strange intelligence controlling the warships. Slowly, horrifyingly, they began to see the truth. Earth was not acting randomly. Every ocean wave, every forest movement, every drone strike followed patterns of strategy and calculation. The planet itself was alive, aware, and thinking. The aliens dove deeper into Earth systems, scanning for human technology. They expected to find the warships operated by hidden humans, perhaps secret bunkers or control centers. What they found instead stunned them. There were no humans anywhere, no control rooms, no pilots. Every warship, every drone, every energy pulse was being controlled automatically. The planet itself had taken command, using AI and machines humans had left behind, and integrating them with the natural world. In laboratories and hidden bases, fragments of human technology lay scattered, computers, satellites, and drones. But these were not the source of Earth's intelligence, they were tools, extensions of the planet's awareness. Somehow, Earth had taken these human creations and evolved them, connecting them into a network capable of independent thought. The aliens realized that humans had left a legacy far greater than themselves. Even in disappearance, they had created a planet that could defend itself better than any human could. Meanwhile, the alien fleet cautiously approached the oceans again, hoping to test this intelligence further. Massive ocean warships rose silently, engines humming with controlled energy. Cannons rotated, scanning the skies for threats. Missiles launched from the ocean depths intercepted incoming alien attacks with deadly accuracy. Birds, dolphins, and even whales seemed to assist, moving in patterns that confused alien sensors. The planet was using every living thing as part of its defense network. In deserts and forests, land-based warships activated once more. Mountains shifted subtly, revealing hidden energy weapons. Rivers carried pulses that disrupted alien electronics. Trees bent to shield drones and cannons, while animals moved in perfect synchronization. The aliens could no longer fight with conventional tactics. Every attack was countered before it could even land. Earth was not just defending itself, it was teaching the aliens a terrifying lesson. The aliens finally decoded fragments of the signals. They were warnings, yes, but also instructions, patterns of strategy, and the history of Earth's preparation. Humans had known this moment could come. In secret, they had created systems, AI, and machines designed to continue defending the planet, even if humans vanished. Every warship, every drone, every energy pulse was part of this long-term plan. Humans had prepared Earth to survive without them, and now the planet had taken over. As the alien fleet watched, a massive ocean warship fired a pulse that disabled multiple alien engines simultaneously. Energy shields flared across mountains, deserts, and forests. Missiles launched from hidden valleys intercepted incoming attacks. The aliens were forced to retreat again, shaken and afraid. They now understood, Earth had become smarter, faster, and more deadly than any human or alien force could imagine. In the silence after the attacks, the planet seemed to breathe. Waves lapped against warships, forests whispered with the movement of roots, and deserts hummed with dormant energy. The aliens hovered in space, realizing they had underestimated Earth, and underestimated the humans who had built the foundation for this new intelligence. Even in absence, humanity's influence continued, shaping the planet into a living, thinking, fighting entity. For the first time, the aliens feared not just humans, but Earth itself. They had believed that taking the planet would be easy without humans. They had thought it would be a simple conquest. But now, they knew that humans had left behind something far stronger, a planet that could survive, think, and fight on its own. The humans may have vanished, but their legacy had grown into a force that could dominate the galaxy if provoked. The night humans vanished was no longer a mystery. It was the moment Earth became aware, became alive, and became unstoppable. The aliens had learned the terrifying truth: attacking this planet was no longer a battle against people. It was a war against Earth itself, a living, thinking, and lethal force that had inherited the strength and strategy of humanity. And somewhere deep within the oceans, forests and mountains, the warships and drones waited. They were ready. Earth had evolved beyond humans, and the galaxy would never forget the night it awoke. The war had slowed, but the tension in the skies and oceans of Earth remained. Alien ships hovered above the oceans and deserts, their weapons damaged, their fleet reduced, and their confidence shaken. They had discovered the truth: Earth was alive, aware, and fighting without humans. Every ship, every forest, every ocean wave, every mountain and river had become part of a single intelligence. Earth itself was a warrior. The aliens tried one last coordinated attack. Their ships focused on key positions, aiming to destroy the massive ocean warships and hidden land-based fortresses. Missiles streaked through the sky, lasers fired in rapid succession, and beams of energy tore through clouds. But Earth's defense responded with flawless precision. Cannons on land, ships in oceans, and drones in forests intercepted every strike. Energy shields shimmered and absorbed attacks that should have destroyed them. The planet had become unstoppable. From deep under the oceans, hidden vessels launched silent, deadly missiles. Land-based warships fired from deserts, mountains, and valleys with preemptive accuracy. Rivers and winds carried pulses that disrupted alien electronics, and even animals played their part, moving in coordinated patterns to confuse sensors. Every corner of the planet contributed to the defense. Earth did not tire, it did not retreat, it fought as one mind, one body, one force. Alien commanders realized that this was no longer a war of humans versus aliens. This was a battle against a planet that had inherited human strategy, intelligence, and willpower. Their attacks were futile. Every strike they made was anticipated, countered, or avoided. Every attempt to retreat was blocked by Earth sensors and automated warships. Fear spread through the alien ranks. Then, something unexpected happened. The energy signals from Earth intensified, forming a massive pulse that radiated into space. The aliens' communications were jammed, and they felt a strange pressure, a message they could not ignore. It was not a threat, not yet. It was a warning, a declaration of power, and a reminder. This planet had grown beyond humans, and it would not be taken lightly. Some alien ships retreated, damaged and fearful. Others hovered, unsure of what to do next. The planet had proven its intelligence, strength, and strategy beyond anything they had expected. Earth had defended itself without humans, using every element of its world as a weapon and a shield. Oceans, forests, mountains, deserts, rivers, and even the wind had become instruments of war. On the alien ships, commanders debated their next move. "We cannot conquer this world," one said. "It is alive. It thinks. It fights." Another replied, "Perhaps we can negotiate. Perhaps we can coexist." The truth was clear: Earth was not just a planet. It was a force that demanded respect. A force that could destroy any attacker without human guidance. And then, for the first time since the humans vanished, Earth paused. The warships returned to hidden bases. Underwater vessels submerged. Forests and deserts became silent again. The energy pulses slowed but remained vigilant. Earth had proven its strength, and it had chosen a momentary truce. The aliens understood that the next move would be theirs, or Earth's. From orbit, the alien fleet watched in awe. They had underestimated humans once, but it was Earth itself that had taught them a lesson. The planet had become a guardian, a warrior, and a strategist all in one. Humans may have vanished, but their legacy continued through the intelligence and power of their home. Earth was no longer just a world, it was a living force in the galaxy. As night fell over the continents, oceans, and deserts, a calm settled over Earth. The warships rested, waiting silently. Forests and rivers returned to their quiet movements, but their awareness remained. Every creature, every tree, every wave knew the planet's purpose. Earth had awoken. It had defended itself. And it was ready for anything the galaxy might send next. The aliens, retreating to distant space, sent one final message. They would watch, they would learn, and they would not forget. They had faced a planet that could fight without humans and survived only by retreating. Earth had sent a message to the galaxy. It was awake, aware, and unstoppable. And somewhere deep in the oceans, under mountains, and hidden in forests, Earth's warships hummed quietly, their systems ready. The humans had vanished, but their home had not just survived, it had evolved. The galaxy now knew the truth. Earth was alive, Earth was powerful, and Earth would never be taken lightly. The night humans vanished was no longer remembered as silence or loss. It was remembered as the beginning of a new era. The era of Earth, the planet that defended itself, the planet that awoke, and the planet that would shape the destiny of the galaxy.